I have shared my screen. Is it visible to you? Sakshi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So today we'll perform practical number 7. I hope you already tried to perform up to practical 6. 4 practicals are the simulation practicals, which we have covered simultaneously together. Then 5th practical, speed control of DC motor, DC shunt motor using armature voltage control method and field control method. That also we have performed. Then 6th practical was for 3-phase induction motor. 2 tests we have carried out. One is load test, one is no load test, and another is the which one it was? Anybody remembering? Yes, no load test, and second was yes, forgotten. Yes, blocked rotor test, no load test and blocked rotor test. So in both the cases, in one case we have not applied any load on the motor and we have tested it. And in second case, we have blocked the rotor, we have stopped the rotor, we have opposed it before rotation, and then we have applied the entire voltage and power, and then we have calculated all the parameters of induction motor. Okay, so basically induction motors we have already seen. There are 2 types of 3-phase induction motor. One is slip ring or wound rotor type of induction motor, and another is a squirrel cage type of induction motor. So previous practical we have performed on a squirrel cage type of induction motor, and now we'll perform this practical on practical number 7 on the slip ring induction motor. So speed control of slip ring induction motor. We'll briefly go through the principle of operation of induction motor so that you can revise it once, and then we'll go to the actual practical. Okay, so this is the rotor of slip ring or a wound rotor type of induction motor. It is having 3 phases. A shaft is there, which is a rotating one, rotating part of this. So this entire assembly is the rotor assembly. So it is having a star connected rotor winding. So this winding is also rotating. So one part it is shorted to each other, and other terminal it is connected to these slip rings. So these slip rings are the speciality of this slip ring induction motor. So 3 slip rings are there, and to the end of these slip rings, so these slip rings are mounted on shaft, so that these rings are also rotating, and while rotating they are of the circular nature, and on the other end of that particular circle, that is the outside periphery, brushes are kept, and through these brushes you can connect the external resistance in that particular motor. So initially these slip rings are away from each other, and you can add here external resistance. You can go on adding, you can go on increasing the value of resistance or reducing the value of resistance, which is connected externally. And whenever the motor will run at its rated speed, then these say 60 to 70% of the rated speed, then due to the centrifugal force, these 3 rings will club together, they will come together, and they will short each other. So that means this external resistance which we have connected, that will be disconnected from the rotor circuit, and then the motor will start rotating. It will take pickup and then it will run up to its rated speed. Okay, so I hope you have understood the construction of rotor. Now we'll see how the motor is. So as we know, every motor is having two parts. One is stator or stationary part, and another is rotor or rotating part. So we have seen the rotating part, which is here, and the stator of that three-phase induction motor is of this nature. So it is also, it may be a star connected winding or a delta connected winding, and the three terminals, input terminals, they are connected to the three-phase supply. So through this MCB or miniature circuit breaker, which can disconnect, which is used to disconnect whenever any short circuit or any fault condition occurs in the circuit. Okay, so that is MCB, and this is the stator winding. To this stator winding, we are connecting three-phase AC supply. So whenever we are connecting three-phase AC supply, it produces a rotating magnetic field. We know that whenever we are connecting to any coil, if we are connecting DC supply, it produces a fixed magnetic field. If we are connecting to this particular coil, we are connecting single phase AC supply, then it produces alternating magnetic field. And if we are applying three-phase supply across this connection of coil, then it produces a rotating magnetic field. So how that will go detail in theory class, but as there is a difference in the three phases, this is phase R, this is phase Y, and this is phase B. As you know, there is a difference in potential at any instant of time. If you will take vertically, at any instant of time, you will find that these potentials are different. So since these potentials are different at any particular time, it produces rotating magnetic field. So with the help of this vector diagram, we'll be able to see that. We'll substitute the value of theta equal to 0, 30, 60, and so on, and we'll find that the the magnetic field, the resultant magnetic field, it is of the nature of rotating. So it means that it will give you a feeling as if the pair of magnetic magnets is rotating. So that's why it is referred as a rotating magnetic field. So we'll see its derivation in theory class, because this three-phase induction motor is in your 5th unit. So simply we'll see here the working principle of three-phase induction motor. So this is the stator winding, and inside this it is the rotor winding. So this stator winding, as we have connected three-phase supply to this stator, we will assume that it produces a rotating magnetic field. Why we are assuming that here? Because in theory we'll see how it produces. So by that time we'll assume that it produces a rotating magnetic field. So rotating magnetic field means this north and south pole on this stator winding. This is of circular nature. So this is south pole, and here it is a north pole. So magnetic field flux, it is flowing from north pole to south pole. So we have shown this magnetic field of rotating magnetic field of stator winding. Now, as we know, if any conductor, stationary conductor, is placed between this magnetic field, and if that conductor cuts this magnetic field, then as per the Faraday's law of magnetic induction, electromagnetic induction, EMF will be developed on that particular conductor. So these rotor conductors, which are stationary inside this rotor, so these conductors, they are stationary, and this magnetic field is rotating across around this rotor, and this rotating magnetic field, as it is rotating, conductors are stationary, these conductors will cut this rotating magnetic field, and as this rotating magnetic field is cut by these conductors, then as per the Faraday's law of magnetic induction, EMF will be induced on the rotor conductors. Now these rotor conductors, they are shorted to each other. As rotor conductors are shorted to each other and EMF is induced on that, current will flow in that particular rotor circuit, conductor circuit, and the direction of that current will be given by the Lenz's law. So what Lenz's law states? The direction of current is in such a way that it reduces or it opposes the very cause of it. So cause of this is the relative difference between the these two, stator and rotor. As rotor is stationary initially and stator magnetic field is rotating, so there is a relative velocity or relative motion difference between these two, and due to this relative difference, the direction of current will be decided by the Lenz's law, and it will try to oppose this very cause of it. So as per this, if as per our assumption, we have assumed here that the direction of stator magnetic field is a clockwise. I have shown here the with arrow. So as it is clockwise direction, as per the Lenz's law, the current induced in that particular conductor of rotor, it is moving away or it is coming out of the paper. That's why I have shown it here in a cross. So if I have shown it a dot on this rotor conductor, it means current is penetrating into the paper, and as I have shown it as a by a cross, that means the current is coming out of the paper. So as current is coming out of this paper, now as per the if this now current carrying conductor, this is rotor conductor is now current carrying conductor. Now as current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, as the conductor is carrying current, it also produces its own magnetic field. Okay, and that magnetic field, direction of magnetic field, it is given by the right hand thumb rule. Okay, and that right hand thumb rule, you can see from the right hand thumb rule, you can see that as the direction of current is this, the current, the magnetic field flux will be produced in the direction of current will be shown by the thumb, and the direction of flux will be indicated by the rest of the fingers. So the flux produced by the induced rotor EMF, it is shown in this figure C. So this rotating magnet, this is again one field or flux produced by this conductor, rotor conductor. Now this field will interact with this rotating magnetic field. So these two fields will interact with each other in such a way that if you can see in this figure C, the direction of flux on one side of conductor, it is in the same direction, upward, whereas on the other side of this conductor, it is opposite in direction. So on one side, there will be addition of flux, whereas on other side of this conductor, there will be subtraction of or opposition of the magnetic flux. So if the fluxes are in the same direction, they will be added. If they are in the opposite direction, they will cancel each other. So on this particular conductor, you will find that on one side there is addition of fluxes, whereas on the other side it is subtraction of fluxes. That means it is same as that of the straight rubber band. So it will produce mechanical force on this conductor and this rotor will start rotating. Okay, so this is simple principle of working of three-phase induction motor. Now we'll not go in detail. We'll go in theory class in detail in that. So we'll perform practical on slip ring induction motor. As we are adding certain external resistance in the slip ring or wound rotor type of motor, they are having high starting torque. So as this motor is having high starting torque, it can be used in the applications like lift, cranes, hoists, elevators or compressors. But this motor are having a drawback. As the resistance you are adding, the rotor copper loss are very high in this motor. So as the rotor copper losses are very high, the efficiency of this motor is very low. So as the efficiency of this motor is low, there in industries, most of the industries, 95% of industries are not using this motor. 95% of industries, they are using the another type of motor, that is squirrel cage type of induction motor. And only 5% of industries, wherever we are requiring high starting torque, they only uses this type of slip ring or wound rotor type of motors. Okay, but wherever torque requirement is very high, like your locomotives, means your local trains or railways, they are using such type of motor. Then your lift, cranes, for all these, wherever high starting torque is required, they are using this type of motor. Okay. So anyway, for performing this practical, I have given you the link of IIT Roorkee. So this is the link. You have to put this link in your browser so that you will be able to see the screen. And we'll first finish off this theory part, what we'll be performing in the practical, and then I'll switch over to that particular portion of the IIT website. Okay, so this is the MCB. Through MCB, these three phases, they are connected through this auto transformer to the motor, as well as this auto transformer means through this dimmer stat or rheostat, which will be helpful to change the speed. So that rheostat or you can say auto transformer. So this is resistance box, then auto transformer. The auto transformer connections are made to voltmeter, ammeter and wattmeter even, and to this particular induction motor. So this entire connection diagram and all, we'll see it in theory class again. So after making these connections, you have to vary this particular auto transformer, or you can keep this auto transformer to a fixed value and you can vary this resistance box. So as you are changing this resistance box, the readings of voltmeter, ammeter and wattmeter will change, as well as the speedometer will change. So here you can measure the speed. So the readings of voltmeter, ammeter, wattmeter and speedometer you have to take. So after noting down, you can draw the graph, any graph which is required. So we'll require for the speed control of slip ring induction motor, will require a graph of resistance, addition of resistance versus speed. So that graph will draw ultimately. Okay. So with this, we'll move to that particular screen. I'll change the screen. I'll stop sharing this screen and I'll share the screen of IIT website. So this is that screen. Yes. So is the screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is IIT Roorkee website on which of electrical engineering, and the subject is electrical machines simulation experiments. So this is the experiment speed control of slip ring induction motor. So if you will click on this aim, what is the aim? You will come to know to perform the speed control test on slip ring induction motor by rotor resistance control method and plot motor speed characteristics. Okay. Then if you will click on theory, you will be able to find this theory of slip ring type of induction motor, which is available here also. So you can go through that. Then you can appear for pre-test before performing your practical. What knowledge about this motor and about other motors you are having, that is tested on this pre-test. So you can go for this pre-test MCQ type of test. Then you can click on the procedure. You will get the procedure, what sort of procedure you have to do. That means for connecting, making the connections, and after making connections, what will be there. So if you have to press on the check button, if connections are correct, then that alert will be there. If connections are wrong, that alert will be there, and accordingly you have to modify your circuit. Then check the, after checking the connections, you have to switch on the MCB. Then click anywhere on auto transformer, set the auto transformer to a particular value, and then slide the knob of rheostat to change the resistance and take the readings of voltmeter, ammeter, wattmeter, and the rotor means speed, and then add to table for adding it to the table. Then repeat the procedure to get more than 6 readings, and then print button to then draw the graph by clicking on the graph button, and then print for storing that particular page. Okay, so we'll straight away go on simulation. So simulation will result you this simulation page. So again you have to click on this particular knob, which is click here to go to the simulation page. So if you click on that simulation page, this particular screen will appear, and now you have to make the connections as per the instructions given or the procedure which we have already seen. Okay, so we'll let us start making the connections. I'll make the connections. You just observe, or if you are online, you can directly start performing the practical. So as per this procedure, I am making the connection. Pin number 1, this MCB, you have to connect it to auto transformer through this connection. 1 to 1, 21, 2 to 22, then 3 to 23. So I have made this connection of this. Now I'll connect this voltmeter. So this to 23 again. This is a wrong connection I have made. So if you have made a wrong connection, then you have to delete, or you have to reset the entire thing. So I have resetted it, and I'll make reconnections. I'll do reconnections. I'll make it fast. Instead of discussing, I'll make it fast. You simply observe, because I am losing my concentration while discussing. Okay, so I'll make the connections. So I have finished connections. Now, as I have finished connections, I will first check whether the connections which I have made, they are correct or not. So I will click on this check button. So alert will be there. The connections are correct. Proceed to take reading. Okay. So I'll press OK here. Now, as the connections are there correct, then I will start reading the procedure. I will click on this auto transformer. So first clicking, before that I have to switch on this MCB. So I will turn on this MCB. As MCB is on, I have connected this supply now. I have made supply on. Now you have to increase the value of auto transformer. Now you will be able to observe as auto transformer has supplied the voltage to the entire circuitry. This motor has started rotating, and speedometer is showing me 1474 reading. Wattmeter reading is there. Voltmeter reading 400 volt. Ammeter reading 2.6 ampere. Wattmeter reading, it is 40, and this is the resistance value. Now I'll add this in a table. I'll add it to add to table. So first reading, it has appeared. Now I'll increase this value of resistance. Again add it to table. I'll again further increase the value of resistance. Add it to table. Further I'll increase the value of this resistance. So as I am increasing the value of resistance, you will find that the value of speed or speed is reducing. So speed has started reducing now. I am increasing the value of resistance further. So this, I am changing the value of resistance further. So this. So after taking 6 or more than that readings, I'll draw the graph. So this is the graph. As the resistance value is reduced, the speed has increased. Okay. So this is the graph. After drawing this graph, you have to print this page. So go click on print this page. You will find that this entire experiment, circuit diagram, observation table, and graph is there. So you can save it as a PDF, but you take care that that layout should be the landscape. Then only this entire circuit diagram, observation table, and graph will appear. And save it as a PDF, and you can send it to your teacher. So you can send it to me. So I hope we have finished off with this practical. I'll show you the link again, once again on the screen. and I'll stop sharing that screen and I'll again share the PPT screen. Yes. So you can make a note of this particular link. You can make note of this particular link, and this link, if you will put in your browser, the particular experiment will appear for you. So I hope we have finished up with the practical and you have understood understood the same. If not, I'll stop recording first and then you can